If you're an e-commerce owner and you're wondering what type of content to create for Pinterest to sell more products, generate more leads, and increase traffic to your site, then this is the video for you. Hi, my name is Craig Lewis and welcome back to my channel. On this channel, you can expect videos related to Pinterest for e-commerce, entrepreneurship, and digital marketing. In today's video, we're going to look at how to create content for Pinterest, specifically as an e-commerce owner, because there are very different ways to go about creating content as an e-commerce owner to a content creator, treating Pinterest as a visual search engine is different. And in this video, we're literally going to look at the most suitable ways to create content for Pinterest as an e-commerce brand and product owner. Specifically, there are four main areas that we're going to cover in today's video as an e-commerce owner looking to create content for Pinterest. And the first one that we're going to talk about is something that's seems to be ignored or maybe overlooked by the majority of owners. And usually I would put what not to do at the end of a video, but I think it's important to cover this one first before we get into things what to do. So based on what we've seen over the last couple of years within my agency, who are now working with e-commerce owners to generate more traffic and sales from Pinterest, is to avoid using raw images. And by raw images, I specifically mean a product image that has no text overlay, no call to action. It looks a bit vague, and there's a few reasons for that. And the main reason is it generates low quality traffic. And by that I mean, you could have a really good looking product image or even a lifestyle image. It's actually the lifestyle images that this tends to happen to, where you can have an amazing creative with no text, it doesn't say it's a product. And what tends to happen is if that gets posted, it could get tons and tons of reshares, maybe even some click-throughs, maybe even visits to a site, but it doesn't convert into anything. And what happens is it leads to a little bit of frustration from the person, from the product owner or the e-commerce owner, where you're wondering why there's a high volume of traffic coming through, but not necessarily leading into any action being taken on the site. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not the best use of anyone's time when there's a much better approach to take. And the first step to take is to avoid using raw images and just be like as specific and focused as possible when it comes to the content that's being published on Pinterest. So the first thing to avoid is to pin raw images for the sake of pinning images. There's no need to do that. There's a much better approach and a much better way that we can utilize and capitalize on the visual aspect of Pinterest. So the first thing of what to do and how to create content for Pinterest as an e-commerce owner is to be clear on the expectations. And by being clear on the expectations, I'm specifically talking about tell Pinterest, tell the users of Pinterest what they can expect when they click through from the image that you've pinned. As an example, this is following up from what we just spoke about of what not to do. This is tied into the first thing of what to do. So take product images, lifestyle images, or images related to content around your product or product images themselves, and tell people what they can expect when they click through. Is it a piece of content that they can read more about the product that you're selling? Is it a listicle? Is it a how-to? Is it educational content around your product? Set the expectations of what will happen once they click through from Pinterest to your site. If it's a product image, if it's specifically pinned for the sake of or with the intention of attracting sales, tell people it's a product image. You can add words such as buy now, shop now, available now, back in stock, and even the price. So these are all things that we've tested with our own clients within my Pinterest agency, and we're seeing the click-throughs increase with a higher buyer intent from cold traffic. So basically, in a nutshell, the images that we're pinning that are no longer raw and vague, they now tell people what they are. The chances of someone taking action and staying on the site to make a purchase, hand over an email address from a product image, is far higher. So set the expectations as early as possible and let people be fully transparent in what's happening or what they can expect to happen when they click through from Pinterest to your product listing or content around your product. Be as clear as possible. It will attract a higher quality of traffic. You'll get a far more interested audience in what it is that you're talking about or what it is that you're selling. And at the end of the day, that's a much better place to be spending your time and effort than dealing with low quality traffic that's coming from vague images, as opposed to being very intentional and having clear expectations of what can happen when someone clicks from Pinterest to your site. The other interesting aspect, which is number 3 of today's video, is tags. And I don't mean hashtags, I'm specifically talking about adding tags to your product images. What we've seen tend to happen with a lot of product images that are pinned on Pinterest, even the brand owners that are using Pinterest at a higher level than the majority of other e-commerce owners, is when they create product images and they have a clear call to action and they link in their product page to the image via Pinterest. What's being missed out is adding in the tags of the products. And what I mean is when you add a pin to Pinterest and you write the description within Pinterest, you have the option to build out your pin. There's a page which is in Pinterest, and I'll show a screenshot of what this looks like, so you can see like how this comes together and where to add it. But you have the option and the opportunity to tag all of your products. What happens with this is once the pin shows up in the feed, and when someone clicks to have a close-up of that pin, they then have the option to click through to the individual products on your page. Now you might be wondering why this makes a difference. What's the benefit of this? Well, let's think about it from a user perspective, which is if somebody sees a lifestyle image that can have multiple different products within an image. For example, somebody could be sitting in a restaurant or a home, and there could be multiple people, because it's a lifestyle image, multiple people wearing different clothes, holding different products, wearing different jewelry, different cosmetics. It could be a range of different options. Not all brands are going to sell all of those products. So rather than be misleading or not be as clear as possible, you have the option to tag each of the products within that image so people know exactly what it is that you sell. And also they have the option to pick out 1, 2, 3, 4 products and click through to the specific one, rather than to a generic or general landing page talking about a range of products. You're giving them the option to click through to a specific product. If that's not increasing the intent of the audience that's looking for what it is that they're looking for, then I'm not sure what is. So add in the tags to all of your products that are suitable for individual pins. One of the last things we'll talk about today is testing the designs. One of the great things about Pinterest is we're not limited to creating one image per product. You have the option to create 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5+ different designs of a pin that all link back to the same product. And there are many different ways to test what works. You can have the text at the top of the pin, the text in the middle of the pin. You can have 1 image, 2 images, 3 images. You can create carousel pins. You have the option to add in the price of the product. You can also add in things like buy now, shop now, available now, like we mentioned at the beginning. All of these different aspects of the design can be tested. And what's really cool is, like I just mentioned, you could pin 3 to 4 images within a couple of days, and you would have a lot of data come back within a few days of that, showing you what is resonating the most with the audience for your brand. So test as many different designs as possible for your products, and also for the content that links and relates to the products that you sell on your site. The other aspect is, if you're an e-commerce owner and you're not specifically design minded or design orientated, and you're not sure how to get started with how to test different designs, use Canva if you are interested in making the designs yourself. However, if you're looking to do this at volume and at scale, and you're not design minded, then look at freelancer sites and look for people or designers who have experience with creating product images for Pinterest. If you can find these, this will help free up your time to focus on other aspects of the business, while the design side is being taken care of by someone else who specializes in making designs. The very last thing of today's video is to tag related images, tag related pins. You also have the option to do this within Pinterest, very much like when you when you tag your products, you can tag related images. This is a very underused aspect of Pinterest, because what happens is, when you tag related pins to your own product pins, when you click through and you click up close to a product or a pin or a piece of content that you've published on Pinterest, what will happen is, if it's on a laptop, on the right hand side you'll see related images, and if you have those images that are related back to your product, you're basically like upselling the potential traffic from your original pin to many other different pins. If it's in mobile, you can do exactly the same thing. All that happens is you don't see the images, the related images on the right hand side, you actually see them underneath. So when people scroll and see the pin, what happens is there'll be a few other options underneath, and these other options are also linked back to your site. So all that we're doing is we're generating as much exposure as possible, and we're getting to maximize the intent of someone looking at the pin. So if someone's already looking at a product that you have on your site, if you can add in supplementary images that can help solve the problem that someone's already looking for, or can complement the product that you have, add these images into the related product tab within Pinterest. Again, with everything that I've covered today, there'll be individual screenshots that will pop up within the video, so you can see what each of these look like. Thank you for watching today's video on how to create content for Pinterest as an e-commerce owner. If you found value in this video, please let me know in the comments and post what it is that's working for you right now as an e-commerce owner. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future episodes that pop up.